Haka Cantina Tortilla Chips proudly presents the Also Known For podcast, hosted by me, Thomas Ian Nicholas. Hello, I'm Thomas Ian Nicholas, hosting the podcast Also Known For. So this is where we have guests on the show that are known for iconic things in their career, but while we talk about the things that you know and love, we're also going to reveal, so to speak, what they're also known for, projects that they're also known for. And today, of course, I have the amazing, funny, talented Diedrich Bader.
Hello, my friend. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We were literally just saying we haven't seen each other for 21 years.
21 years, and you have not aged a day.
If you saw a picture of me from 21 years ago, you would not agree with
Oh,
that statement.
all right. Well, it feels right. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm fantastic. Seriously, I'm so appreciative that you answered my text message and said yes.
Yeah.
To coming to be a part of this. Even not knowing what we were doing, just saying yes to a friend.
I just like saying yes.
Yeah.
I like saying yes. But I don't do a lot of podcasts. I only do it if I know the guy who's the because then I know I'm going to have a good, because otherwise, this long format things, you never know. Because sometimes it's like, I might not listen to I was just listening to a podcast. But sometimes guys just talking for an incredibly long period of time. It's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why?
No, I hear you.
So I don't want to be one of those guys that rattle on forever, that just tend to bore people.
Well, but the thing is, though,
I find myself interesting, but I'm not sure if other people
I think everyone will agree that you are very interesting, and they're going to get to know some of the. I'm telling you right now, considering that you have been in every corner of this entertainment industry, and no spoilers, because we're going to save the also known for the hook moment.
The big reveal.
So I might dance around the spoilers here and there.
Got it.
But I am very excited because I think myself, I was surprised to learn this about you. And it's something that you've been doing for your entire career. But again, no spoilers. So I'm excited about the surprise that people are going to have when we get to that moment.
Yeah.
But, we do have, you have so many projects that it's kind of hard to even I want to start with some of the nostalgia things.
Yeah, please.
So that people understand who you are and the things that they know and love. Yes, some good context. And we actually have some parallels. So your first project that I saw you in, it's one of your first projects, also came out in 1993, the year of one of my big projects. So essentially the parallel is we both had a studio film, not only studio film, both with 20th Century Fox.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it was in 93. So mine was, of course, Rookie of the Year as Henry Rowan Gardner, and yours was Jethro and Jethreen in the Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly Hillbillies, yeah.
No, see, you were saying this, and I've heard you say this, and you have this joke like, it bombed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Rookie of the Year was considered a sleeper hit. $16 million budget, $54 million in the box office. Beverly Hillbillies, $25 million budget, $44 million in the box office.
Doesn't sound
That's
so
not
bad.
really a bomb.
Yeah, it's not technically a bomb.
I don't think maybe it was the hit that you expected because the show was such a hit. So maybe you had higher expectations for it?
Really did have high expectations. I don't know where it lies in the adaptations of television shows into movies. Maybe The Brady Bunch was before, but I'm not entirely sure that's correct. But it certainly didn't do as well as the studio had expected.
Sure.
And I loved working with Jim Varney, but he may have defined our crowd in a way that was not entirely advantageous to the picture.
Fair. Well, you did also have my friend on there, which, like yourself, she played the opposite of her own personal, who she is, Leah Thompson.
She's the greatest.
She's the greatest. She's just like you, nice and humble.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's such a sweet woman.
Yeah.
She came and directed American Housewife, a couple of them. Yeah,
right.
she's wonderful.
She's a profound
real
director.
Yeah, she's great.
Yes, I'm actually, I'm noting this right now, another guest. But now I'm going to edit that out because I don't want to give away what you don't know about Leah Thompson. But isn't this is the fun part about this show?
Yeah, no, it's really fun. All the tie-ins, yeah. You have been around forever.
I mean, we kind of started around the same years.
Yeah, I know.
I started in 86. You started around
88, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you started as a kid.
I started as a kid. Yes. You were also a kid. You're not
Well,
much older than me.
I was 20. I guess that is a kid.
Yeah, that's
but I
still
wasn't
a
a
kid.
child actor. But you were a child actor.
I was a child actor.
Yeah, yeah.
But we also, so it's funny too, like looking at all that and the parallels. So we go.
It's cool. We go back.
Yeah, we go back. Well, I guess before I get to the next sort of bit, we obviously have to mention the Drew Carey Show, which you were on for 9 years. Not a bomb.
No, that did well.
Although I think the first year didn't necessarily do well.
No,
I know.
I've
I've heard
we were
some
on the
stuff.
bubble. Yeah.
We know that you tested. I know because I did my deep dive on you that you tested for the Drew Carey Show as a bartering chip for another show that you wanted,
right.
and then during the first year of the,
I can't believe you know that story.
you wanted off of the show.
I did, yeah.
And you were very thankful that you did not.
Oh, thank God that they did let me out.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine your life and career without that show?
No.
Right.
No, I can't. I was not totally off base with wanting to be off the show. I wasn't utilized a lot. I was partnered with Ryan, which was great. Ryan Stiles is a genius, and
Yeah.
it was an amazing opportunity for me. But we weren't really used very much. It was mostly Will They or Won't They with Kate, with Chris's Miller character. And I was bored on the show.
Sure.
And the Drew Carey Show was my 7th pilot. So I just thought, I'll just do another pilot. I mean, there were so many, you remember this time, there were so many multicam shows. And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that.
I mean, at the time, there was so many more auditions. I mean, I was, in the beginning of my career, I was doing 100 to 200 auditions to grab that one job.
Totally.
Now, my son, who's following in my footsteps as an actor, I don't even think he's been on 100 auditions. You know? But he's already done some great stuff.
Well, there used to be pilot season. And now, I mean, the business is totally changed.
No, yeah, people would move to LA for
pilot season.
For
That's
pilot
right.
season.
Yes, I mean, people now don't understand that, but because you could audition really from anywhere in the country, you just have
Now you
videotape.
can,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm saying. You do it
Yeah.
since COVID. Since COVID, that completely changed the business and for the actor, because we audition by doing what they call self tapes, which I loathe.
You know, it's funny. We loathe it because we remember the feeling of going into auditions. But like, so my son, you know, he landed the M. Night movie Old.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And he shot in the Dominican when he was 8, turning 9.
Wow.
But every audition he's done has been on tape. So for him, that's the way you audition.
Yeah.
And he likes it because he feels like it's closer to what you're doing with filming because you can watch it. You could do multiple takes. You can get direction versus an audition is like almost like theater to audition
It's
for
interesting.
film.
I was just about to say that. I overheard an actor at a party, a young actor, saying that he had a live audition and the person he was with said, what was it like? And he said, well, it was interesting because it was like doing theater. And I thought, it's not like doing theater. It's like doing an audition. But your son's point is right. I mean, he is not trained to do that. But when we were coming up, you would go into a room, you try to vibe it out, you know, and figure out the power positions in the room.
Yeah.
But also get their...
The introduction of yourself was part of the audition.
It was.
You
What
know,
I'm like.
Yeah.
And I knew as, so you present yourself, you come in, you try to be loose and cool, and then throw everything out if you need to. And also just get the general vibe of the room of like, what's their sense of humor? You catch it pretty quickly once you've done it enough. And that was the thing. It was like I would constantly audition. I would test for 10 times a year during pilot season. I was just constantly going up.
Well, now that makes more sense. I didn't realize you were testing for so many shows.
All the time.
That makes more sense as to why testing for the Drew Carey Show, it was just like, oh, just another day at the office.
The Drew Carey Show was in the second position, too. I had done a pilot for Margaret Cho. It was a Margaret Cho's revamping of The American Girl. I think it was the name of the show. And so I had done that pilot, and I wasn't crazy about the pilot. And I thought, it's not going to get picked up. I knew it when we were in front of the audience. I was like, it's dying.
I'm gonna pause here to explain to people why it's called a pilot, because obviously people might be listening that aren't, that haven't been in the business.
I hope people outside of the business watch this. Yeah.
A pilot is called a pilot because if it gets picked up and becomes a TV show, it's the first episode that will be on air, and that's how it got the nickname a pilot. Just so you know, little tidbit. Learned that one on Instagram yesterday.
The second position is when you have 2 shows. One is first position, so if that gets picked up, you have to do that one.
Right.
And if both are picked up, you have to do the one that's in first position. And but second position is just like they really want you, and they're willing to risk that the pilot that you're in first position is not going to go.
Yeah.
So I was kind of convinced that the Margaret Cho show was not going to go because the Drew Carey show was a pilot for ABC, which was also American Girl. But I had only gone in on the Drew Carey show because they were lowballing me. This is the story about that. On another show, a pilot out of Sony, I think it was for NBC, called Partners. John Cryer ended up doing my part. And they really, really lowballed me. And like maybe they always come in at half your salary. And then you just wait it out and ultimately
your team negotiates for you.
But it comes to roughly around.
Don't have a negotiation unless you are wanted somewhere else. So I understand.
You don't really, not really.
Right.
And so I was really upset with Sony because they weren't going anywhere. Like I was like, no, it's a quarter of my quote. Like half would be at least a respectable position to start negotiation, but a quarter, come on.
Yeah.
So I did walk away, and they were like,
I remember this position of being like waiting on the phone with my team in my car, ready to pull into the studio, waiting for them to come up on the numbers. Because for those of you that, again, don't understand, when you sign a deal to do a pilot, you have to sign off on 7 years because if it goes...
That's it, man. That's your contract. Yeah.
So I remember one time like being outside of the studio, and they're like, well, this is the ending number, so you can choose to accept it or go away. I drove away.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going that
low.
I
did exactly the same thing.
So, if you did that many pilot auditions.
I was in an awful car, and it was hot, and I'm sweating in the car, and I'm walking away from... It's the prospective money. It's not actual money.
Right.
But you have to walk away. You have to walk away.
Once you're in that room, you realize that everyone in that room has already signed the deal.
They already did
and it's going to be one of you, or maybe none of you, and they're going to do it again.
Yeah, they could throw out the whole thing, which happened a number of times where they just cleaned the slate, and they were like, none of these guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I only auditioned for the Drew Carey show because I wanted to drive out the price on Partners. That was the name of the show. And then they got John, who's great. And I got the Drew Carey show. And I honestly called up my agent. I was like, what have you done? What have you done? Now I have to go do the show. Who is this guy?
Right.
I mean, he seems nice. I met him in the room. He seems really nice. And he goes, yeah, I mean, he did another show for ABC, and ABC really liked him, and that's where we are. And I was like, okay, I guess, whatever. And thank God that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So these obviously, okay, we've touched on...
It was a long story. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Listen, we're here to talk. So we got the, obviously Beverly Hillbillies, the Drew Carey show, but then there's like iconic, what I call pop culture.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Like Office Space, which also has a parallel, again, with me. You love how I just relate your career to my career?
No, I love that.
But it was 1999.
Yeah.
Office Space is to you like American Pie is to me, which
Yes.
is also 1999. I would venture to say that your character was essentially the Stifler of Office Space.
Nice.
And the irony of that is Stifler went on to, in American Pie 2, to sleep with two girls.
Well done. Which is the dream.
Which is, your character's dream.
Yeah, no, I know.
The line is, I believe it's, what would you do with $1 million?
Yeah, two chicks at the same time, man. I have accepted that line will be in my obituary. For the longest time, I didn't want to accept it, but I accept it now. Somewhere famous for this line. And when I go to the cons, we were talking about the cons. That's a line that I write more than any other. I write it over and over.
Yeah,
and over
I write to the next step. So,
yeah. Well, I didn't think I was going to get that for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that audition process was interesting, and then.
But that's Mike Judge.
Yeah, Judge.
When did? Oh, you said you weren't going to get it.
Well, I got the script and I thought it was great. And I had watched Beavis and Butthead, and I thought he was really talented. And I had just seen Bottle Rocket.
With Wes Anderson movie, yeah.
And Owen Wilson was in it, and I think that's his first picture. But I read Lawrence, and I thought Lawrence could be played by Owen Wilson, kind of upper middle class kid who decides to work with his hands for a living. So when Ron's character Peter talks to him, they're the same dude,
right?
But Lawrence is happy because he does something where he feels like he's eschewed the office, the standard path of what young man is supposed to do in America.
Yeah,
And-
work that 9 to 5
Yeah, and he
desk
decided,
job,
like,
and
he just wants to work with his hands, and that it's a rewarding life. And then at the end, you see that it's not quite, because they have another boss. So I kind of worked up an Owen Wilson thing. Like, I thought, oh, it'd be cool to do it like Owen Wilson,
yeah.
because I like to start with a voice. And so I found that voice, and I was like, I was really happy with the audition. So about 2 weeks, rehearsing. I was doing the Drew Carey Show at the time, but I was rehearsing that a lot. Anyway, so I go to the audition, I sign in. I never read, like, there was nobody else there, but there was a sign-in sheet, and I signed in, and I never read the sign-in sheet about who's reading for a role, because I cast them immediately. I'm like, oh, they'd be so good in this. I should go. It really, because I'm like a walking imposter syndrome. I'm just I feel so lucky all the time that I work at all. So anyway, I didn't read it. I signed in. I sat down. Owen Wilson walks out. And I go, holy. And I go up to the sign-in sheet, and he's reading for Lawrence.
Oh, my gosh.
And I go, I can't do a better Owen Wilson than Owen Wilson. So I'm standing there, and the casting director goes, Diedrich, are you ready? I go, I know the lines. And she goes, okay. Do you want to come in? Like, what's a strange thing for an actor to say? Like, it's just the fundamental, rudimentary, acting. So in the threshold of the door, I came up with Lawrence. And the idea was brilliant redneck. Because I'm from the South. And there's a type of guy that's real, ding dong, ding a ding ding when you first meet him, and kind of scruffy, and
But then he's got philosophy, and yeah.
he's really smart.
So you switched gears.
I totally switched gears
through the threshold of the
yeah,
door
no,
into the
he's
room.
country. He's a country boy, but he's right about everything he says. He's super perceptive.
You used your greatest moment of defeat into your greatest
Yeah.
triumph.
That's right. And
Of like, oh no, I've lost my role to the person I was modeling my role after.
And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do now? I can't do a better Owen Wilson than Owen Wilson, so I'm going to come up with an entirely new character, and just throw it all out. And the first take was ruined because Mike laughed through the whole thing, and I mean, like, really laughed.
Yeah.
And then he goes, okay, man, let's take it again. And I go, yeah, can you shut the fuck up this time? And he laughed really hard. He's a good dude.
Oh
But that
my
was
gosh.
obviously ballsy.
Yeah,
move.
for sure.
Yeah. But he ruined the take. I mean, like, there wasn't one thing that would have worked. For the studio watching it, it was like everything Lawrence said. He was like, that weird
That's
laugh that he has.
amazing.
Yeah. That's a pretty wild story.
This is kind of crazy.
1999.
I feel like maybe the only one that you don't have a story of, like, getting the job or maybe not wanting the job or thinking this way or that way or like an opposite way, is maybe the Beverly Hillbillies. But then, of course, you have Napoleon Dynamite, which
Yeah.
is the other, pop culture classic.
I like that.
And you were saying, which I've heard you say, and you were talking about before we started our interview, that no one wanted you to do it. You liked it.
Nobody wanted me to do it. I mean, my agent literally said they have no money. There are no stars in it. This director just got out of college, not even film school. And so he doesn't know what he's doing. But it's an offer, so we have to run it by you. That's kind of the rule, the way they're supposed to. I think,
Yeah.
Anyway.
And this is another parallel because obviously, if you've noticed, there's like people that you've worked with on every one of these jobs that I also know because we've been in the business forever. So I worked with John Heder. We did a film
Amazing guy, yeah.
called Walt Before Mickey. I played Walt Disney. He played Roy Disney. So to right the wrong, consider this a gift from the Disney brothers.
What the hey? Oh, it's my pants. This is funny. This is funny because I've often said, like, my one regret is that I left those
Because
pants.
people ask you all the time
All the
if you
time.
kept the pants.
all the time.
And you were- when
I
you-
left them.
When you got in here, you go, oh, I should have worn pants. I go, should I
I
tell
go,
him?
oh, that's so good.
Oh, it was hard to
I feel like I should put the pants on. We should start shooting again.
we should just do it for the very ending.
Yeah, it was just wearing the
Like,
pants.
yeah, just wear
yeah.
with the when I thank you
Yeah,
for being on the
yeah.
show, then you just stand there with the pants.
Well, I
on.
didn't know the format of the show. I was. This is the thing. We're going to tell you what happened before.
Oh, I love to not tell anyone anything.
I came in and I realized like that this format, because a lot of times in podcasts it's a desk,
Right.
so you can wear whatever you want. You can wear a dress, whatever you want, or no pants. But I just decided to wear shorts. And then when I sat and I saw that there was a couch, the first thing I said was, I wish I'd worn pants.
Okay, well, these are things that I'm learning. You're part of my guinea pig cast of my of guests.
Yeah, you got to say
if you
I'm not blaming you.
no
I'm
no
just
no
saying,
you,
yeah. Well, because it's hot. We're in the valley. It's hot.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. So I'll say, hey, listen, you're welcome to wear shorts. Just know that we're going to see.
Yeah,
your
we're going to
beautiful
see your legs. Yeah.
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 And you
thank
do have
by the
beautiful
way.
legs, so you're good.
Thank you. I'm proud of my legs. Just like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, Louis the 14th and I share that one thing. Yeah, that's great that you and John did. But he was a lovely guy.
Yeah.
He and I hung out we did a table read in front of an audience of most of the cast, or was it the entire cast? Well, most of the cast of Napoleon at the Sketchfest up in San Francisco.
Oh, no way.
And it really went well. John did the whole dance. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
He is he definitely embraces it.
But that one was a hit where
Yeah.
Office Space really genuinely wasn't.
Well, yeah, Office Space had what, if I'm not mistaken, it did kind of what Family Guy did. It bombed and then like got a resurgence in DVDs, right?
Totally. And I mean, the first time I knew that it started, because I wasn't able to go to the premiere because the premiere was, I think, on a Tuesday night, which is when we shot the Drew Carey Show. And so I just couldn't go. And
I mean, that's the thing. Both of these projects are during the time that you're shooting the Drew Carey Show.
the whole time. Yeah. So we went opening weekend, my wife and I. And there was one other guy in the theater, and he left. So it was just the two of us. And I watched the movie, loving every frame of it, but also it was a come to Jesus moment, like, because I thought, I don't have the taste of Americans. Like, I don't get it. Because this to me is a really good, this should be a hit.
Right.
Like, this is really funny to me. And it also has a larger point about life in a very subtle way. It's just a good picture.
Well, it's also like, I mean, at this point, for me, it's quotable on the internet.
no, it's
I
really
quote
good.
the film all the time.
Thank you.
I mean, listen. I don't. I try not to like talk about the two chicks line, so I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
give away.
yeah,
If no one knows what I'm referencing, then
come on, it's there.
But I think I've done the Gary Cole's lines.
yeah.
Gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
Gary's
okay,
very
and
right.
then or stapler. It's my stapler.
Oh, Stephen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen Root. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. He's amazing.
Oh, he's great in that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest character actors. Like Dermot Mulroney, he works all the time, too.
Yeah.
Stephen literally never stops. That was kind of a searing moment. Like, because you and I have been in the business a really long time. If you're in something that bombs, it not only doesn't help you, it kind of hurts you. And because people don't want to talk about it, and they're like, oh, you were in that, right?
Right.
Success wants to be associated with success, even if it's a total piece of shit. Everybody hates it. If
Right.
everyone hates it, but it still makes a lot of money, you're going to get another movie out of it.
Right.
You will, because they just want to
Well,
be associated with success.
It's show business, not show friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they want to be associated with success, and they don't want to be associated with something that bombed. So I was watching and thinking, this will not only do nothing for me, but if the fact that it's doing so badly is going to be a detraction. I was on the Drew Carey Show; it would be fine, but I was so heartbreakingly disappointed by it that I never watched it after that first time. For 10 years, I didn't see it. But 2 years after it came out, my wife and I were driving downtown, and I used to drive a classic car and had the windows down, and these guys pulled up in a classic truck, tats all over, cool looking hipster dudes, and classic cars where we like look at each other and we're like, yeah, and then one of the guys is like, and then nudges his friend, and I'm like, oh, it's probably a Drew Carey Show or whatever, and the guy goes, hey man, what'd you do with $1 million? And I went, 2 chicks at the same time, man, and they gave each other high fives and they're, woo man, you're blah blah blah, and I was like, I turned to my wife and I go, because as you know, as an actor, once the lines are in there, they're there.
Yeah.
So I was like, what was that? And my wife goes, I think that was Office Space. And I go, that's funny. I wonder what's happening with Office Space. She goes, yeah, that's weird. Then about a week later, for the symmetry of it sounds like I'm making this up, I got an absolutely enormous check because the DVD sales and
Right.
the VHS and also Cartoon. No, it wasn't Cartoon Network. Comedy Central was playing it almost continually, but I didn't know. I didn't watch the station.
Yeah.
So I just got this check, and I was like, "What's happening with Office Space?" and then it really started, and people started, bumping into me and saying, like, it just had this weird growth to it, where all of a sudden it became this enormous thing. And then at the 10th anniversary of Office Space, they had a screening at the South by Southwest in Austin. I'm sure.
Yeah.
The screening sold out in like a minute, and people were like, selling tickets. And it was almost the entire cast, not number 1 or 2, but everybody else. And the laughs just cascaded down and crashed into the screen and rolled over me. And I was like, I was right. I was right.
Amazing.
This is a good movie.
Well, see, this whole experience reminds me of something that I actually have kept with me since the time we worked together. So 21 years ago, we did a National Lampoon movie together.
Good script.
It's good script. You can IMDb it or whatever. But Jonathan Winters had a cameo in the film, and he had this one philosophical thing that he said to me off camera that has stayed with me since that time.
Oh, what was that?
And it kind of goes in line with everything we're talking about. And that was, he equated careers in the entertainment business to going to the horse races. You never know what the outcome's going to be. So you could have, the dark horse could suddenly win, or the fan favorite could, get injured and not go. And
oh, totally.
So you're really there going like, oh, I did this film and it's going to be great. Like, that's the horse to win.
Right.
And then it doesn't. And then 2 years later it does. You know what I mean?
I loved working with him. What a sweet, lovely guy he was.
Yeah.
He and I improvised. I don't know even why we started, but we started improvising as a coach and a baseball player, I think it was. And we just did it for 3 hours. And I'll never forget it, because he just started talking to me like I was his player. And I was like, okay, coach. And we just kept talking and literally never stopped. We ate lunch together as these guys. He was great.
Yeah.
I love that guy. What
Amazing.
a lovely, shining, beautiful soul he had.
Absolutely.
Too.
Well, that's the thing is here it is. I just had this one conversation with him.
And it's still to this day, 21 years later.
21 years later, I've retained it forever. So as we're talking about this, and it seems like we kind of have a similar perspective on these jobs, where you do them, you put everything that you have into them, you put your 110%, all your heart, you fall in love with it, but you have no control. It's a little bit left to chance and all the other, people involved.
It's so funny. People see the actors and they think we're a big part of it. We're a tiny part of this whole process.
Right.
As you know, as a producer, director, and writer, you've done basically everything. You're also a director too, right?
I have directed a little bit, but produced more.
But produced
than anything.
stuff, right? So the producing part, people don't know how long it takes to get a project up and going. It could take years.
More than or less than 5 years, really. Well, I did one TV series that was only 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's 5.
Well, no, 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes on a long time, and that is par for the course. Unless you're an enormous star and you've got a production company that's behind you and just continually churning things out. Those are extremely rare, though.
Yeah.
So production, pre-production is an enormous part. I'm counting pre-production as development and the writing of the script as well. Huge. Then the shooting is beep, beep. And then there's the
Which
editing.
is the most fun part.
It's really fun. But then there's the editing, which is also interesting. And then the post-production. And then there's the publicity.
Right. The marketing, publicity, the distribution, which, the timing of when it comes out. There's so many things. But speaking of horse races, and I'm not going to make this, a full bio dump of Diedrich Bader, but
Okay.
I could. We
All
could talk.
A bio dump.
Yeah, we could essentially talk just about all the things that you've done.
Yeah.
But it's more or less to speak of your versatility. But you have I'm gonna go by memory on IMDb.
Okay.
63 film titles, 173 television credits, and 62 interviews. Make that 63, including today.
Yeah.
So so you've definitely taken a lot of, you've had a lot of opportunities.
Had some experience.
And some experiences.
Yeah. I like working.
But the thing I took away from all that is not just how much you've done.
Mm.
It's the versatility. So like
Well, thank you.
obviously, American Housewife and Veep.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was really funny.
which, ran 5 years each that you
Yeah.
were also doing simultaneously.
Yes. I was doing American Housewife, Veep, and Better Things at the same time.
Veep dips into, DC, which I know you have DC connections with
Yeah.
your dad.
It certainly helped. I mean,
and you grew up in the DC area,
in the DC
right?
area, yeah, that's right. My dad worked in politics. He was also CIA, but he worked in politics. He was Chief of Staff of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Assistant Secretary of State, Under Secretary of Defense. He wrote the SALT II Treaty, Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, and he's been around for a really long time. So, yeah, politics is in my blood. I feel always bad when people follow me on social media because I talk about politics a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, that was like, well, it's like growing up here, right? You talk about show business all the time.
For sure.
Because it's the business. It's literally what we're brought up in. Well, I was brought up in politics. So we talk about politics in my family all the time because that was the family business. And everybody talked about it. I mean, I didn't know a dad that wasn't in politics. And I didn't know a single politician. They all worked within the confines of staff. And they were the people that told people what to say, how to perceive things, and also the larger question about how things were being perceived. So to me, that's really interesting.
But see, this is all just par for the course of, again, your versatility, like your upbringing.
You're so sweet.
No, but it's true. Like look at your career. You go from, you have comedy, you have drama, you have indies, you have sitcoms. It's just like, so I guess my question in regard to all that is, when you started, were you always that versatile? Was the versatility learned, or was it just what you always wanted? You knew you wanted to be that versatile in your career?
What an interesting question. So I guess Charlie Chaplin is probably my biggest inspiration for being an actor. But as far as the way I perceive acting, Alec Guinness and Peter Sellers are probably the biggest examples of who I was trying to emulate, because I felt like with every part, they conformed themselves or they altered themselves in a way that was part of the larger story. So they took themselves and they realized, I contain multitudes, and I could have been this had I had a different, path. So what's this guy's story? What does he sound like? What are experiences? And then you just change. Things just come out of you. Like, I mean, speaking of better things, there was one point where my character Rich smoked a joint, and I didn't think about how he would smoke a joint. And then I watched a playback of Rich smoking a joint, and I was like, that's interesting because I don't smoke that way. I had literally just done it. Or like Lawrence sitting down. Like Lawrence sits down differently than I sit. Just the way that, and I'm not making conscious choices of that. I'm just letting it happen. And I'm not editing myself at all. I'm this guy. So he sits down, he's going to do the full man spread and like really take a couch. Like he fucking nails that couch.
Yeah.
Where I'm, I was just brought up differently. So I wouldn't do that. But it's just, I'm not saying I'm so great. It's just that you channel, and it's interesting to note when it works and when it doesn't. Like there's some characters where I'm like, I missed that. I missed it. I didn't work hard enough, and I didn't work hard enough before to allow my instincts to take over.
Yeah, but I think like in your point, especially with Peter Sellers and Charlie Chaplin, the thing that I think you embody the most that I've ever seen from actors that I've seen their work and worked with is your reactions and your pauses.
Thank you.
A lot of people, even myself included, are going to the next line, but I do know from my training that 80% of acting is the reaction. 20% is the dialogue. So when you've got the character that has all the dialogue, you have the easiest job.
Yeah.
You really only have to give 20% and you're great.
That's totally true.
But it makes sense when you say Charlie Chaplin and Peter Sellers, because your pauses, your reactions are right in line with both of those guys.
Yeah,
So
there's some great listeners that I really admire. Edward Everett Horton, the king of the double take. That guy. That guy knew how to do a reaction shot. Like it's really remarkable. Claude Rains, also like a master at the reaction shot. If you watch him in a close up, because directors will cut to him when he's just listening.
right.
because he's telling the story the whole time. The way a character listens to a story is as important as what he's about to say.
Yeah, therein lies the Alec Guinness, the visceral nature of watching them live in that moment.
No, I've always admired those guys, and the fact that they were mutable was something that I really admired. But the thing that always holds you back is that, you're in a body. So there's only so much that you can do to change. And so I change my voice as much as I can. I change my physicality as much as I can.
You're making this transition easy to you're also known for. When you talk about, I never knew that you approached your acting in your characters voice first.
Voice first.
But okay, so we got to reveal the hook.
Okay, what's the hook?
The hook is,
what is it?
It's you as a voice actor.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, you do some voiceover work on the side. You're Batman.
Yes, I'm Batman. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and you have been doing voiceover work since 96?
Yeah.
Gargoyles was your first?
Oh, well done. Yes, Gargoyles was my first. Jamie Thomason, a great casting director, cast me in that. I think that part of that was that I was, on the Drew Carey Show. And so, it was like, they love to cast on-camera actors just to see what you got. And I, played a couple characters, and he was like, okay. And I didn't know that kind of once you're in, and that okay was going to be transformational to my life, because I finally got to play anything I wanted to play.
Yeah.
I wasn't my meat, didn't my skeleton and my meat and my bones and everything that was holding me back from playing literally anything. It just wasn't there.
Well, that's why I said you made that transition easy to reveal the also known for portion of the show, the hook of the show, when you talked about embodying a character versus, the voice and
disembodied.
Yeah, you're disembodied.
Disembodied.
But I mean, so like again, so
it's pure imagination.
Right.
That's it. It's just playing.
Because you
it's
can
like when you're a kid.
You can morph into anything.
Anything you want.
Yeah.
Anything you want. And when I was a kid, I lived overseas, and when I came back, I didn't conform to what people thought an American boy should be. Like I was just different. So then I just started playing characters when I was really little because I realized, well, I could just be anybody. And then when I played with my friends, they were always the same guys, but I was like always a different guy. I was always a different guy. And I've never thought about it until today, but that's the way that I play it. Like I was like, we're telling a story all together, and I'm this guy. What a strange little boy that must have been for those kids. I never thought about it until today.
Well, but that's sort of the cool thing is that by being able to embody anything else, like clearly, maybe people can sense it, but like you did the narrator in Weird, in the Weird Al Yankovic.
That was fun.
Right. So like you wouldn't imagine that you look anything like the sound of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just don't like to be held back by what I look like. And, you can play aliens. You can play anything. You can be anything. You can be a tiger,
oh, yeah. And you've done like tons of kid shows. I was saying like you were in some of the kid shows that I think I watched and I didn't even know you were there, like Miles from Tomorrowland.
Yeah. That was a fun character.
And there was other one. And then I mentioned Mike Judge earlier.
Yeah, that was Boomer, man.
You did some King of the Hill stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then there was like the Sean William Scott reference. I know you did a cameo as a security guard with Jay and Silent Bob, Strike Back, and the reboot. Sean William Scott's in those, but then you're also in Ice Age. You guys are both there. So you've essentially worked with Sean 3 times.
So many times. Yeah, well, that's the fun thing. Is like you get to work with everybody because so many on-camera actors, you don't have to pay the penalty. What was the thing we were talking about earlier? The stakes of being in something that doesn't go well.
Right.
Well, that doesn't exist in voiceover. It can do extremely badly. Nobody cares. You did your job. It's pure and clean, and you weren't on camera. You're not labeled with that. Because nobody cares. You just move on to the next thing. You're talented. You can move on. But if you're in a bomb and you're on camera, you're labeled. You were in that bomb.
Right.
Right? So you do everything. Like I never said no to an animated anything.
Well, this is what I mean, though, is that most of the time you're not talking about that, but you have so many voiceover jobs that you've done. And you've been doing it essentially for as long as you've been acting, like on camera.
Oh, I love doing it.
I was like, how did I not know this? So I'm
well,
again,
I didn't really talk about it very much. In fact, I barely ever talk about it. But like at lunch during the Drew Carey Show, I would go do a voiceover, and then I would come back, and they were like, "Do you have a good lunch?" I'd be like, "Yeah, it's good." So I never brought it up. Nobody said, "What did you do during lunch?" I said, "I did a voiceover." But they were like, "Do you have a good lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, I ate a sandwich while I was working." Basically, I would have said had I gone forward, but I was like, "Yeah, it's good." So yeah, I would do it, and then we would have a day off on the Drew Carey Show on Wednesdays. Basically, a day off. We came in, we did a table read, and then we left.
Yeah.
It's the easiest job in the world.
Sitcom. Yeah, I know. I always called that the office job of acting.
Yeah,
because you kept the lowest hours until like the taping day.
Oh yeah. And even then, like we were out in 2 hours. I mean, it was pretty great. It's pretty great. Yeah, it was the easiest job. So, but I mean, most people probably would have just taken that and gone to the bank. But to me, I was like, these hours are fantastic. That means I could work more during the day. Like we're done at 3. That means I'm free I can be anywhere at 3:30. And so 3:30 to 5, I'm willing to work on literally anything.
Yeah.
I could play a janitor, like, I could on Lloyd in Space, I could do, but in the same day, you could do multiple ones. I could do 3 shows in a day. I was in heaven just bouncing around like that.
That's
I
amazing.
just loved it. I mean, I was saying during American Housewife, this sounds like I'm bragging, but this is just what it was. So I would do American Housewife. Sometimes I would leave the American Housewives. I think this happened 3 times. I would leave American Housewife. I would work half a day, so 6 hours, up till lunch. I would leave at lunch, go do Veep, and then do Better Things after. Then the next day, so I would go back to my trailer in American Housewife. I'd sleep for a couple of hours. I'd get up, I'd do a voiceover, and then go back to my trailer, sleep a little bit. They'd wake me up, and I'd do more American Housewife. To some people, that would be insane.
Right.
But to me, that was like, I'm playing all day. I get to play all day.
Yeah.
Because we work together. I love a fun set. I love it to be like the times that I hate it. It's like you've betrayed my favorite thing. So it like, I mean, we could tell stories about people that we don't like working with.
Yeah, but we don't need to waste our time doing that.
We don't, because the essence of why I don't like working with them is that they've forgotten that it's fun.
Right.
And that we're privileged to have this job. And that we should just be playing. We're little boys together. We should just be playing all day. And it's going to be great. We're going to have such a good time today. But people that don't have that approach, I can't stand.
See, that's crazy. Like you doing Veep and American Housewife at the same time is like the story of like Michael J. Fox doing Family Ties and Back to the Future at the same time.
Well, I mean, talk about a different sense of humor, too. Because American Housewife, our audience literally is children and families. And then on the same day, I had an abortion joke.
Oh, my gosh.
Same day, honest to God.
This is what I mean about your versatility.
Thanks, yeah.
Like it just
it couldn't be darker.
No, I know.
Cannot be any darker.
Couldn't be any darker or different. Yeah.
Yeah, but the voiceover it's really fun because it's just playing.
And it's kind of funny too because my first guest on the show was another person that you work with. So I've just been mentioning all the people that we know together. It's Jarrett Reddick, the lead singer of Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Who did the theme song for Phineas and Ferb. And he's also the voice of Chuck E. Cheese for the last 15 years.
I did not know that.
See, this is why I like this show. It's the Also Known For show.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And it's not like things like, oh, hey, you're also known for this thing that you've never heard of. It's no, you're also also known for these things that are huge.
Sure. I mean, we're creative people. We got to keep things going. I mean, part of what we do is entertain ourselves. Just like what would be interesting for me to do. I want to do something. So yeah, that's really cool. He's Chuck E. Cheese. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I love that.
And then obviously there's the new 40 episodes, the new season of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Which you're, doing some stuff on.
Yep.
Which is cool. And Dan Povenmire is awesome.
Oh, Dan's fantastic. Swampy's great. Yeah. It's a really nice creative. That's another thing about voiceover, is that if you're not a nice guy or gal, you're out. Because I have replaced people, I'm not going to say who, on shows as regulars or recurrings, because they were just difficult to work with.
Right.
And attitudes that you can strike when you're on camera, because you can't. It's very hard.
Yeah,
the full-on Darren.
Not everyone can place
replaced.
Darren.
Yeah.
Did you just go to Darren?
Totally did.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
Because the audience just is like, well, it's a different show now.
Right.
I mean, I think what killed American Housewife was that Julia left the show. and we replaced her with a daughter who was really lovely, but she wasn't Julia. And it's like, you can't replace a child. You don't do that. You don't
Yeah.
replace a child. So Julia wanted to go on and do movies, and I totally understand it. But
Or Back to the Future, actually. I think there was well, not just the Stoltz thing, but also the girlfriend.
oh yeah,
was
yeah,
different in
yeah,
the
no, it's
first
different.
one and the second
yeah,
one,
it doesn't. It's a big buy
Yeah.
because the audience wants to think it's real. I mean, it's like they always talk about the extended universe of
No, but you're right. In
superhero shows.
voiceover,
No, you're just gone.
yeah, you're just
gone. They
You
don't-
got to be cool to
Yeah.
work with.
So successive generations, you still have to be talented, but successive generations of that have learned like, oh, I got to be nice. That's it. I just
Yeah.
have to be nice, or I'm going to be fired. Doing Batman, the first time I did Batman Brave and the Bold, we sat in a horseshoe shape. We did it like a radio play, and everybody was so fun to work with. It was like playing, we did it like a radio play. So we would read the show like a show.
Yeah.
And everybody did 3 voices. And to watch a voiceover artist do it right in front of you, it's like a card trick. Like, it's a trick, right? But still, you're like, that was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's still a magic to it.
For sure.
People were like, Tom Kinney or D. Bradley Baker or Gray Delisle or any of those incredibly talented voiceover actors. It's just fun to watch them work because they're so different. And I learned a lot from them about voice and how to put it in different places and, just use different parts of your whole, not just, your head and your chest and like your whole instrument.
Right.
Like, putting in the back of your voice like that. Like, here. I learned that from Frank Welker. He does Snoopy.
That's
kind of thing.
that's like my go-to voice. Remember the Punky Brewster show?
Yeah.
Oh, Punky.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, no, so using your voice in different ways.
Yeah.
And seeing that, on the instrument, you got this key over here. You're like, I don't know what that is. That's for. And so you just find it. Where you can't do that on camera all the time.
No.
Because if you or I were to do whatever voice that we just did on camera, people would be like, what are you doing? Stop doing
You
that.
don't sound like you look.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally didn't prep you for this next sort of section. So
All right.
I have these two kind
Puts
of
on a rubber glove.
No.
All right.
No, I have these 2 segments at the
Okay.
end of the show that I
Yeah.
like to do.
Okay.
And I digress because I was supposed to tell you at the top because obviously I didn't tell you anything about the show prior
Yeah.
to you being
Yeah.
here, but it's fine. I will tell mine and to stall so you can think of yours. So the first segment is that I go to is called Fantastic Failures.
Okay.
So Fantastic Failures is the idea of sharing something that maybe went wrong that ended up being right. So like in the time that it was like, something that was, bad, but it ended up working out well for you. So don't be too self-conscious about it because you only have to tell one. I'm telling a new one for each episode.
Okay.
So
that's tough.
it's
No, that's
luckily I
hard.
have a lot of failures that turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
The one I'm going to share, this one is, and I had asked you about like your versatility and comedy versus drama and all that. For me, when I started acting in 1986 and I started going to class in 87, drama was my forte. Comedy was my weakest link. And I remember my acting coach and mentor, Kevin McDermott, said, you can only be as strong as your weakest link. So let's work on your comedy. It will only improve you as an actor and improve your dramatic skills. So I worked on my comedic skills and immediately went from that to do Rookie of the Year, A Kid in King Arthur's Court, American Pie, 4 of those movies.
Because I think of you as a comedic actor.
Right. And that's my least
That's
talent.
really fascinating.
That's my
Yeah.
lower side.
No,
So-
that's really interesting.
So the fantastic failure is that I was failing at comedy, so I worked on it just to like not be bad, and then ended up having a career in comedy.
So my story is kind of similar to that. I went to North Carolina School of the Arts, and I took myself extremely seriously. Like I wanted to be a Shakespearean actor. It's genuinely what I wanted to do. Then I went on vacation in Santa Fe, New Mexico. My mom, as we had talked about before the show, was an artist, knew an artist in Santa Fe. Went to a dinner party with a bunch of artists, and across the table from me was a casting director. She was the local casting director for a Western for ABC called Long Arm. And she said, do you want to come in and read for this pilot? I got some local parts that I'm casting, and they shoot. It'd probably be a day's work. And I went, no, I'm going to be a stage actor. And I was serious, and I didn't want to do it. And my mom convinced me to go in. She goes, just for the experience, just see what it's like. It might be interesting. And at some point you're going to have to audition for a job. And so, dealing with all of that, how is that going to work for you? No stakes. You're on vacation. And I went, oh, that's actually true. Yeah, I mean, why not? So I went in and read for the part of the local gunslinger. And I got done with it. And Sally was her name, the casting director. She said, that was really funny. I said, thanks. And she goes, it's not a comedic role. But you're naturally funny. So you should read for the comedic relief. But the problem is he's a regular. So it's above my pay grade, essentially. I can read you and we'll tape you. And then we'll just see what happens. So I said, okay, but I'm not a comedy guy. And she went, okay, let's just read it. And then we'll send it in. And I go, I mean, okay, I'm only here for the experience. She goes, great, let's do it. So I read for it. And then she sent it in. And then when they were doing more location scouting, the producers came in. And she called my mom because I didn't have a cell phone or anything. And she was like, we got to bring, at that point, Carl.
What year is this then?
This is 1988.
88. Okay, yeah, of course. You didn't have someone in 88.
Yeah. And I was Carl at the time. My first name is Carl. Diedrich is my middle name. And she was like, Carl, you got to go back in. And I went, go back in for who? And then with the producers. I went, well, they saw the tape. And they go, well, that's not, I don't think how it works. You have to go back in. And then I went back in and I read for them and they were like, okay, you're really funny. And I went, see, I'm not a comedic actor. And they go, okay. But then was the interesting turn. They said, at one point, your character needs to ride down the middle of the street. Both guns out, shooting people off the roofs. There's going to be explosions left and right. Do you think you could do that? And I heard a voice say yes. And I realized that was me. I just said yes, knowing there's no way in hell I'd be able to do that. But that was the first time I realized, oh, I'm ambitious. I don't just want to be a stage actor. I actually want to be a working actor.
Right.
And my unconscious basically took over.
Right.
Was like, I got this. And I heard the voice say, yes. And I was like, yeah. And so I got that part. And
the next day was, of course, horse riding lessons and the gun range. Yeah, of course. I mean, we've all been
and
there.
And again, that was my mother. It was like, well, you're going to have, you said what you did in the room. And she was great. And yeah, so but my first shot in show business was that shot. And I had never ridden, I had ridden English in camp, but I hadn't ridden Western other than, training for this part.
Right.
But the horses I'd ridden had been like, the horses for hire in the Santa Fe area. And so they were kind of lazy. They didn't really want to do anything. But this horse was a camera horse. So you kick a camera horse, that horse takes off. Like it's ready to go. Let's go. I didn't know that. So my first take was, put the reins on their teeth, took both guns out, give it a little kick. It took off. And I went, whoa, like that back. And I was like, boom, boom, boom. And there were explosions. I get to the end of the street, pull the thing, put my guns away. And there's a guy who looks just like me. And I'm like, he comes up with the horse, stops the horse. I'm like, hi. And he goes, okay, son, get off the horse. And I was like, oh, all right. I get off the horse. He goes, give me your guns. I'm like, well, that's weird. Okay. And then, give me your hat. I give him my hat. Give me your badge. Give me the badge. And he's my stuntman. I didn't know that was it would be so unceremonious as to go, kid, basically you're fired. Your first shot? No, it's not going to work. So I learned just to be funny. Like there's certain things that are outside of my, I'll try. I will try to run down the middle of the street, shooting everybody off the roof. But that's not really what my skill is. My skill is to tell a joke, tell other people's jokes.
And you've accepted this now.
I have accepted
versus when you then what you were like, well, but that's fine. I'm not funny.
I'm not funny. I'm not a comedic actor. But I have a calling, and that calling is to make people laugh. And the more I was in denial of it, the less of a full and rounded person I was. I had to accept that
Right.
that was my gift. I was given this gift that I'm naturally funny. Again, I don't mean to sound egotistical, but
No,
this
no.
is something I've thought about where it's like, okay, so I can make things funny easily. That's just easy for me. So why aren't I doing that? I want to push myself as an artist and try other things. But that isn't being a dramatic actor is not my thing. It's not the essence. It's not the core.
Yeah.
I'm here to make people laugh, I think.
That's what an astounding journey to discover it that way.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing though. I love
Art
it.
school pretension. I was like, I actually said to my friends, comedy is the death of truth. That's how pretentious I was. That's how
The
awful I was.
irony.
Yeah.
It's the irony is thick.
Oh, yeah. And now I realize I've
Well,
brought
maybe
joy.
you could probably steal from that for this next bit. So we have one last.
Oh, we got
segment.
another bit. That's right.
We got another segment.
Yeah.
Again, remember I didn't preface this. At the
No,
beginning.
at all. Yeah.
I was so excited to see you. I just
I know,
forgot
I
to
know.
explain it.
Yeah.
So the other bit is vastly different. It's just called "What the hell is wrong with me?"
Okay.
And so again, I luckily have a lot of things wrong with me.
Yeah.
So I have plenty of material
enough.
for each episode. So for this one, it's "What the hell is wrong with me?" It's my sleep pattern. I am not consistent with my sleep pattern.
Oh, dude.
Some weeks I'll survive the whole week on 4 or 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the creative space and I've got to get up and take my kids to school, and I'm good. And then other times I'm like, cool, I'm going to sleep for 12 or 14 hours, like see you on the other side. And,
Wow.
so I'm all over the place.
I wish I could do that.
I am, I wish I had consistency. That's the what the hell is wrong with me, and I don't see it changing anytime ever. So, the idea is, and this could be anything. It could be in your career or life, but something that's wrong.
What's weird about it is that my thing is now going to be your thing. Your thing is going to be my thing as well. Like I'm constantly just taking what you're doing.
Please, this is why I'm here, to inspire you, Diedrich.
I am an insomniac, and it's one of the worst things in my life. I truly hate it. I can't tell you how many times I've been on camera where I have not slept the night before, and I've been literally up for 40 hours by the time I get to the end of the part. Shazam 2, for example. Like I did not sleep because you get in your head and you start running it in your head, and then you're there, and then what's it going to be like, and then you just don't sleep. But I think part of it is also the anger of not sleeping.
So when Mr. Geckel changed, they just removed the makeup.
That's right. that day I did sleep, but it was like the first line because like the first time you go onto a set, it's somebody else's set, and you're not in the top 5 on the it's somebody else's set.
Right.
So you don't know what's going to be like, and it's like the first day of school, like what's it going to be like? But you can't anticipate. I mean, you don't know. It's all hypothetical. You literally know nothing. So there's no point in you doing it. And then there, as I was saying, like there's a little bit of anger and resentment towards yourself of like, why aren't you asleep?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but the insomnia and the fact of how many times I've worked without any sleep did help during the times when I did those stretches of having so little sleep on American Housewife, Veep, and Better Things.
Right.
Because I could actually work without sleep for days because I knew I could. Then I wasn't tense about, like, especially if I knew a set like Veep or Better Things. I just knew everybody.
Yeah.
So I just walked down and I started doing my gig, But I hadn't slept for 30 hours. So for most people, that would be debilitating. But for me, I was like, yeah, this is Tuesday.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
It is horrible.
I wish it was different.
Same. Same.
I love hearing when people, I'm jealous, of course, when people are able to sleep.
Well, no, but
have
like I
great
said,
night's
that's
sleep.
only after doing essentially insomnia for
That's
a
it.
long time.
Yeah.
It eventually
you're basically
catches
passing
up
out. You're not sleeping. You're passing out.
Passing out.
Yeah.
I'm getting what I call my sleep bank.
Yeah, it's like a coma.
Yeah, it
You've
is
lapsed into a coma. It's not sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm jealous of people that have regular cycles.
Same. Like I said, it's for sure.
That would be great. I would love it. I am genuinely jealous of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for being here,
Thank you for having me.
for letting everyone know what you're also known for. And
It's an interesting bit. I love it. It's a good hook. I really like that.
Well-
Because a lot of people just see you on camera and they see you as one thing.
yeah.
And that's cool.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Diedrich Bader, also known for his voiceover work. Again, this is also known for where we take people with iconic moments in their career, and we get to help you discover what they're also known for. I'm Thomas Ian Nicholas, and again, my guest, Diedrich Bader.
Thanks, Tom.